Hello friends, it's a new week, which means it's time for a new reading vlog. I technically should have started this earlier because I've already finished one of the books that I started, which I actually started in the last vlog. It was Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. Had a fun time with it. It wasn't as much of a favorite, but I'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. I'm about to start dinner. I am going to be trying something from, let me grab it. Ottolenghi Test Kitchen. I love Yotam Ottolenghi so much. It is these tuna and potato croquettes, I want to say is what we're making for dinner. So that's going to be happening, and I'm going to make an asparagus salad. Yeah, it is tuna and potato croquettes. So let's get to making. Incredible. Like, what a freaking phenomenal book. The whole thing felt small scale but simultaneously epic. The characters, the setting, all of it was just amazing. I had moments where it felt like my heart was being torn out, moments of disgust, moments of joy and happiness, moments of vindication, like so many different emotions while reading this book. It was such a great read. I am immediately jumping into the final book in the trilogy, which is called Excalibur, which, because of course, the book has so much great context about religion, albeit some of the religion that's being discussed is inherently incorrect, but that's fine. I'm probably going to just do a whole video on the religion and the Warlord Chronicles as a whole. What a great book. Like, Bernard Cornwell is such a good author. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, is this his best series? Because I read the first book of the Last Kingdom series because I loved the show so much, and I thought the book was fine. I actually liked the book a good amount, but I just never got on with continuing with the rest of the series. I really need to at some point, especially now because I love this narrator Jonathan Keeble so much, and he seems to do most of Bernard Cornwell's stuff. But like, is this his best series? I know he's got other books like Agincourt, Stonehenge, and the Sharp series, which just based on the time period for the Sharp series, I don't think I'd be super interested in that one. I also think that leans more historical fiction, kind of like the Uhtred books, the Saxon Chronicles, because we get some of that mysticism and fantasy in this series, which might be why I like it so much, because religion is such a prevalent thing, which of course it is too in the Saxon Chronicles because it's the Danes and the Saxons, so it's, you know, Norse versus Christianity. But yeah, phenomenal book. I loved it. Like, seriously, June is starting off strong. I finished, like I was saying, Leather and Lark the other day as well, which, if you're not familiar with Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver, it just came out on June 4th, but I managed to snag it a couple of days early at Barnes & Noble. Ruinous Love Trilogy, and what that is a Dexter-esque romance series, in that it's a dark horror romance, and it's hilarious. Each book though focuses on a specific couple. It doesn't carry through with the same couples, but you meet the characters, all the characters that the books will focus on, you meet them in book one. Sorry if the wind is terrible. Gonna give this a second here. It's nice for me while I walk. I'm sure it doesn't sound great in terms of audio recordings. But all in all, I thought it was okay. It definitely didn't have as much oomph as the first one I found, especially because, whew, I'm like glowing here. The first book was just so good. It was a 5 out of 5 for sure. Like great book. So funny. The character development was excellent, and I just didn't feel that we got the humor or the character development in this one that we got in the first one. But they can't all be home runs like the first one, because the first one was just amazing. So it was still an enjoyable read, a fun read. I read it in like 2 days, and Enemy of God took me, I think, like 2 or 3 days, because I mostly have been editing the last couple days. I had childcare yesterday, so I did like 9 to 10 straight hours of editing. I was really sick of my own book by the end of it, which I mean is what you're supposed to do. Most people I've spoken to that have written books and edited them really hate them by the time that they get off to their editor. I'm hoping to finish this round by this weekend so I can send it off to my editor of choice, which is so exciting. And then once that's to her, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna start writing book 2 or if I'm just gonna take a little bit of a break from writing and editing for a little bit. Not sure yet. I have my writers group today while my kid goes down for a nap, which is exciting. And I'm gonna start Excalibur because gotta keep the momentum going because it's so good. Tell everyone what you're making for dinner.
Making harissa cod with other ingredients to go with the harissa and the cod. It's not just harissa and cod that what
There's honey in there too.
There's honey too. There's like shallots.
And peaches. We need the peaches.
Peaches. Well, I haven't gotten the peaches out yet. Do they go in here right now?
Yes, they do.
Oh, those crazy old peaches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and one of them is mahi mahi.
Oh well. We can do with what we've got. Final product is grits, fish, and a delicious sauce. Hello, got Murray here. I have been editing all day. I am exhausted, but I've got 10 chapters left and then it's going to my editor, so I'm so excited. I also have my 1K live tonight because I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is really exciting. So if you're one of those subscribers, thank you. And if you're not, why aren't you? Definitely should be. It's gonna be fun. So been a busy day. Tired. I'm gonna have some dinner and then get ready to chat. Hello, I'm exhausted. I finished editing my book, sent it off to the actual editor, which is very exciting. My daughter turns 2 this weekend. Can hear her, she's very loud. There's Maria in the background. I am baking for her birthday. I already have cake. I am making a chocolate raspberry tart. I'm probably gonna make a creme brulee pie, and I'm debating making Oreo ice cream. Stay tuned. Now she goes in the fridge. Here's my tart. She looks pretty. Good morning. On my way to my market. I have a busy day. It's my daughter's 2nd birthday party today, so we have family coming in. Ended up baking yesterday. I made a chocolate raspberry tart, some cheesecake bars, and some creme brulee. So not quite originally what I had planned, but it ended up working out okay. We then have to go pick up all the food because I catered it from Wegmans. If you're near a Wegmans, you know why. It's just so easy and their food is really good. I have had the worst migraine for the last few days. I am dragging, but I did manage to finish editing my book. So I sent that off to my editor yesterday, which is really exciting. So I should be getting that back around the 12th of June. And it's good stuff. I'm excited. I started then writing the prologue for book 2 and playing around with the prologue for book 3 because all the prologues are going to start somewhat similar. They're just from a different perspective. And yeah, excited. I am looking forward to today. Just really tired. I've got about 6 hours left of listening on Excalibur, which so far I'm really enjoying still. Just such good character work. It's so good. More car vlogging. So I just left an urgent care because I think I said it in my last recording. I've had a horrible headache for the last few days and I realized finally I have a sinus infection. So I just went to the doctor, got some meds, so I'm hoping I will feel like a human again in the next few days, because so far I feel horrendous. Daughter's birthday was lovely. Got to see family and some friends, which was super fun. Food was good, desserts were good, everything was good. I didn't end up recording like much of anything because I wanted to be present and with her, and I was, so it was good. I got some photos, but I'm not gonna share photos of my kid online. So either way, I'm happy with how everything went. I'm gonna head to the pharmacy now, hopefully become human. I've got about 5.5 hours left of listening on Excalibur. I friggin' love this series so much. I think it might end up being my favorite series of all time. It's excellent. I love it. Honestly, I can't get enough. I wish there were 10 books in this series. It's so good. Oh, just so good. Good morning, friends. It's time to wrap up this week's reading vlog. I finished not Enemy of God. I finished Excalibur last night, and this trilogy is just the greatest. I think it might be my new favorite trilogy of all time. Bernard Cornwell did something magical with these books. It was so gripping and heart-wrenching and epic and evocative, and dealt with themes of religion, of love, of redemption, of persecution, of bitterness, of loneliness, of, aging and disability, and just like everything is in this book and in this series. And it was perfection. I cannot say enough good things about this series. I love it so much. I own the soft covers, the paperbacks for this. So last night I went and I ordered the hardcovers, because the hardcover for Excalibur is arguably the prettiest cover. It is very reminiscent of old fantasy covers, which I don't usually love unless it's in something like an Arthurian telling. Also, I have a similar-ish cover for A Song for Arbonne, because it just fits thematically with the story, the timing, the setting. So I'm just super excited to get that now. I mentioned my daughter's birthday party this past weekend, and my father-in-law, who built my shelves that I normally film in front of, is going to be building us more shelves, so I'm really excited. And the way it is going to be is that I'll probably just show people in a video, but we're going to be moving apart the two that we already have now, putting a smaller one in the middle, then connecting it around on the wall. Then we have a walkway, and then we're gonna have another wall with another bookshelf. So it's becoming a proper library, which is very exciting. And it'll be a library that has a dining room table in it. But what is better dinner conversation than talking about books? So I feel like this week I had, for the most part, really great reading. I started the reading week last week with Leather and Lark, which was a letdown, honestly. Like, the more I reflect on it, it wasn't what I was hoping for or what I was anticipating, just based on Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, which was incredible. Leather and Lark just didn't have the same charisma, energy, humor, depth that the first one had, which is a bummer, because I think it was probably my most anticipated release for the first half of the year. I then jumped, of course, into Enemy of God, which was incredible, and book 2 of the Warlord Chronicles, and then wrapped out the week with Excalibur. And I've already started reading another book. I've started Remains of the Day, because Jimmy was telling me about it and just how much he loves this book. And I want to say the author's name correctly, so I'm pulling it up here. It is Kazuo Ishiguro, and it is, I'm 10% through so far. The main character is exhausting, I feel like. Yeah, so we'll see where I land on this one. I feel like the next few books I read probably aren't going to be SFF, just because of what's come up in my Libby queue. And that, I'm excited, because that's how I'm listening to Remains of the Day. I also then got Cloud Atlas, which is SFF, so that might happen. But I've been on this waiting list for a sapphic romance for a while called Delilah Green Doesn't Care, which was recommended to me by my bestie Esme. So I am excited to read those. If you hear music in the background, that's my daughter's book. And yeah, so I've got some good reads coming up. I'm still planning on reading Dark Age in the next little bit, probably next week, just based on coordinating with Tori from Tori Talks. And then I'm going to be jumping into Malice pretty soon to do that with Josh. Speaking of, we have a Patreon now, which is very exciting. So if you would like to join, that would be wonderful. It is mostly for our book club, but will also be just for general fantasy at Wash stuff as well. But a Patreon membership for us is that you can come hang out in our private Discord server. You can talk about the books that we're going to be reading for book club. You can have monthly meetups with us and fellow members. You can have book suggestions for book club, and you can vote on books for book club. So this month, obviously, we went ahead and we chose Malice, but going forward, you guys can help us pick the books that we're going to read, which is going to be really fun and really exciting. So I'm hoping that you'll come join us there, just because I think it could be a really fun expansion of this community, and it could be a really good time. So I think this is where I'm going to end the video this week. I had a great week. I would love for you to go read the Warlord Chronicles and then come talk to me about it in the Patreon Discord, because that would be a really fun start to our Patreon community. If you like these type of videos, please hit like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were about them. If you've made it this far into the video, you can leave me a little crown, I guess, for the Arthurian stories. And as always, if you want to see more content like this, you can check out all the information of where you can find me in the box down below. I'll see you next time. Bye.